everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So, today we are going to make one of these. Now, I have a confession. I have just been sat here for the last hour and a half making this, thinking I was recording, talking to myself clearly, because it wasn't recording. You know how I normally check? I didn't. So, I have made this with the paper that we collaged in the previous video. And this is the prototype that I was making from. So this is the one I made. I just threw something together. I just wanted to see. I was awake one night and I thought, I'm not going to get to sleep until I figure out whether this would work. So it worked out. So I thought I would show you. So this is the prototype. This is the one I made on camera that wasn't on camera. And we're going to make another one together. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it has a little concertina pocket at the front, okay, with a Velcro dot on there. It opens up, it's got another Velcro dot. We've got a little tuck spot here, which is, I would call that a page band. I know there is something else it's called, but I don't like that word, so I don't call it that. And then it's got some pages in it that you can journal on, etc. And then it has a pocket at the back for a tag. And this is made mostly from two pieces of paper, or card actually. This one's quite rigid because it was the one made from the card that I decoupaged, but we're going to make one from some Tim Holtz. So I'm going to use this Tim Holtz paper. Okay, so first of all, you're going to need a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, or card specifically. So if it's paper, then it's decoupaged paper to make it card. That's what I mean. Okay, and then you're going to get your scoring tool, or however you choose to score. And this is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So first score line is at 5 7/8. You're going to put a score line in there. Yeah, and then you're going to score at 6 1/8. And that will give us the spine. Okay. Then we're going to turn it 90 degrees. And this time we're going to, so you can have the top towards one end. So it's usually the left hand side because that's where the numbers start from. And you're going to measure down 7.5 inches, and you're going to score a line at 7.5, and that's it. That's your scoring done. You take your scoreboard off, and then everything falls over. So what we're going to do is going to put those lines in. Okay, so because you've got two lines very close together, it's really hard to get those to go in place. So I usually use a ruler, so I put it against one line and then fold that one up, and then put it at the next line and fold that one up. So it's not trying to bend on the same fold each time. So that will give you that box spine that you want. So just going to put that score line in and then do the other one. Put that one in. Okay, so once we've got those in, then we're going to fold this up. Okay, so this is the point where you have to say to yourself, right, okay, which side do I want on the outside, which do I want on the inside, and am I happy with it being upside down? Because whatever you do, one part will be upside down. So this won't matter for me. I'm not worried about it, but if it was worrisome for you, then you could always decoupage over it. Not decoupage over it, sorry, collage over it. Okay, so what we're going to do is cut it with a pair of scissors, Dave. There we go. Pair of scissors. So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to cut on this score line, this first score line, and you're going to cut up to that horizontal score line. Remember, if you're cutting a score line off, you always have these scissors on the other side, whatever. So you cut it off, you actually cut the score line off, and then that means your paper will marry up with the other score line when you fold it. So that bit off, and then you're going to cut that the other side of that one, and you're going to actually cut that box spine off on this lower half. So no, Dave, you missed that completely. You're going to just cut all the way up to that first horizontal line, okay, and then you're just going to snip that bit out, okay, like that. There we go, that's gone. So now what you'll have is, this is going to be my outside, so you flip it over, okay, and this bit is going to fold round to the front because this is going to create our concertina pocket here. So this is going to be our fold out pocket, okay, and then this is going to be our inside pocket, which is this bit at the back. So it's going to create that. So next thing we need to do is we just need to make sure that it lines up. So if you see what I mean by, if you cut the fold off, it will line up with that score line, and the same goes in there. You won't get any buckling from it because you've cut the score line off, and that way then that will fold up nicely. I'll show you like that. It'll fold up nicely without this edge getting in the way of that. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a thumb hole in there. I'm going to use this big giant one. Why? Because I can. Well, he says I can, but why is it not? It's not working. Hang on a minute. That's a brand new thing as well. All right, I'm going to have to come back to that because I can't sort that out on camera. So, okay. So, just give me a moment while I reconsider what my options are. Okay, let's do it with the smaller one, and we just need to go a bit further in because we need to cut that bit off. Okay, so that's that bit there. Okay, so this is going to be your pocket on the inside of the back, and this one is going to be folded up, and this is going to be the concertina pocket on the front. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make our spine. So these bits here, sorry, not the spine, we need to make our pages here. So what we need is we need to get a hole in this spine. So I'm going to, for the sake of you guys being able to see, I'm just going to put some inking on this so you can see where these lines are, because I need you to see where these lines are. So therefore I will do this. So I'm just going to put a bit of ink on that first line. I want to make it quite dark so you can see it. I'm going to put a bit of ink on this one, again making it really dark. So hopefully now you can see that. Yeah, you can. So you can see where these score lines are to make your box spine. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to take a ruler and you want to measure equally in from the top and bottom, and all I did was I used the thickness of my ruler. Wasn't going to make anything any more difficult for myself, and I drew a line within that box. Okay, and then I did the same at the bottom, and remember the bottom is from where you've cut this bit out, or where it folds. So if you find where they fold up, that's the bottom of it. So from there, okay, and then all I did was I measured 1/2 inch in. So from that line, that pencil line, I measured 1/2 inch, and I just drew another line there, and I did the same again, 1/2 inch in from that line, and drew another line there. Okay, you're going to get rid of those lines, so don't worry about them. You don't need to see them. You don't need to put them in with anything more permanent. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to make the slot in the spine. So if you look here, it's got a slot in which we can put this tab. Okay, the way I did that was I used my big bite. Okay, now if you don't have a big bite, you can just use a single bore thing. You just need something that will reach over that span. Now if you've got where is my punch thing? You've got one of these style punches. What you'll find is they don't reach in far enough, so you can't get them in and can't get them round. So what you'll just need to do is you just need to use a bore tool, or like you could cut a miniature circle or whatever. Okay, but I'm going to use this because I have it. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be really hard for me to show you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a punch hole. So this is the top half and this is the bottom half. I want it to be the inner part of this first pencil line. So I'm going to put a punch hole in the inner part. I'm going to use my bigger hole punch. Okay, and then I'm going to put one on the inner side of the other pencil line, and I'll show you what I mean when I take it out of here. So I've punched it the inside of the top one and the top side of the next line, so you've got this little shape here, and then I'm going to do the same again at the bottom. It won't go in that way. In that way. Yes, but I can't see the pencil line. Okay. Never work with animals, children, or bits of paper. I can't see that pencil line now. Hang on. So in there, and make a hole. Okay, so now I've got these two holes. All we're going to do now is we're going to join those up with either a pair of scissors, or I'm happy using a craft knife, so I'm going to use a craft knife. But if you're not happy using a craft knife, just use a pair of scissors just to join up those holes. There we go. I'm just going to cut those out. Don't worry if it's a little bit dog bone shape. It's not going to. Nobody's going to see it. It's not going to matter. Okay. So that's our. Go that way around. That's our front. That's our back, and we've made our holes in the spine. Next, we need to do is we need to get something to be the spine. Now, all I used was some craft card, which I had here, but I don't seem to have any more, so I'll use this. So all I did was I took a piece of card, just another 12-inch piece of card, and I cut it just a tiny bit shorter than half an inch. Well, that's not half an inch, no, if that's a quarter of an inch, just like an eighth of an inch, no, a 16th of an inch shorter, because you want it to go through the hole, which you know is already half an inch. So I just cut it like that, and then I cut it in half. So I think that's 12 by 12, so it is. So it's just going to go cut it at 6. Okay, take those out. Okay, what you need to do is you just need to fold it now, okay, to make the tabs. So you're going to fold it in half. You don't need to use a scoring tool or anything for this. You're going to fold one side of it in half, and then flip it over and fold the other side in half. Now you're going to take that tab and flip it back on itself to meet that other fold. Turn it over and do the same on that side. Turn it over and fold. If you do it like this, you'll find that they end up being much more symmetrical than you trying to fold from one end and concertina it all the way down. Then you take these like this, and you make this fold the opposite way round so that they're now facing into each other, and then you take one side of it and you fold it down to meet the other folds, and you pinch it, and then you fold it over in half and you pinch it like that. There you go. So, and that's going to give you the spine that we need. So we're going to do that again. So take a piece of card, fold it in half. Take one side of it, so take the open edge and fold it down to the folded edge. Flip it over and do the same. Open edge to the folded edge. Now you're going to take the open edge again, this time it's on the other side, and fold it up to the folded edge. And you're going to flip it over and you do the same again. Open edge to the folded edge. Okay, then you're going to take them both parts, but the open side, so it opens up like this, like a book. You're going to flip it round, so you're flipping it back on itself. Put that fold in like that, and then you're going to take this cluster of folds to meet this folded edge on one side, and then you're just going to fold it in half, and then they should all be fairly similar, uniform in size, like that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, I'm going to have it so that you've got the two open edges facing up like this. So this is the wrong way up, this is the right way up, and what we're going to do is we're going to pinch it, except for the first two leaves, so the one either side, and you're going to feed it through that hole that you've just made, like that, and you're going to do the same again. So open up the first fold, open up the other fold, and then just the ones that are the three folded bits in the middle, they're just going to feed through there. Now you want to do this now, because by the when you put in your concertina in here, you want this when it's glued down here to sit underneath your concertina. Otherwise you'll be trying to do this and then this won't open. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to glue it down. So it's going to have to sit round this folded bit, but that's fine. You don't have to make it, you're not trying to make it perfect, you're trying to make it junk journally. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of that tab there and fold it round and hold it down a little bit, and do the same on the top one. Fold it round, stick it down, and then you can flip it over the other way. You can do the back ones. Fold it over, hold it down just until it catches. Yep, there we go. And then the same on the top one. There we go. Flip it over. And now when you open it out, you just want to press those bits down either side, just to make sure that glue bonds. Okay, and they don't need to be glued or anything else. They literally just stick out like that. Okay, so next thing you want to do is you want to put in your pocket. So we're just going to put a line of glue down here and a line of glue across here. And then we're going to close that up. Okay, if you want to do inking, this is the time to do it before you stick it all down. But if you notice with this one, I want you to take note here, I have not inked this. Well, there is a little bit of inking that I've done. I can't remember where I did the inking. Oh, around the edge of there. Didn't do any on that. Oh, and on this edge here. So it's the only place I did any inking. I thought I'm being very brave. Being a brave soldier. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the concertina bit at the front. Okay, so the concertina bit is made in a very similar way to the way we've made them. We're going to take a piece of paper that is the right size. So basically, all I did was I lined it up. How big do I want the concertina to be? Now all I did was I folded it in half like I did before. Yeah. Then let's fold it that way, because that's right then. Folded it in half. Then I folded it back on itself, and back on itself the other way. Then I folded this side in, and then I folded this side in. Yeah. Then I opened it out and folded it back round on itself, and I folded this round to meet that joint, that fold, and then folded this round to meet that joint, just the same way that we did that, just in a wider version. Okay, that'll give you your two open things facing up, and they're the ones that you're going to glue so that they face in. So what I did was I glued them to this part first. Okay, you want it to go almost down to the bottom. You want to leave it about 2/16. Oh, that's an eighth, Dave. An eighth of an inch. See, I'm still trying to get used to the lingo for inches. Now you notice that this is all raggedy jaggedy. If you want to make yours nice, do so, but I like mine looking a little bit worse for wear, a bit like I am at the minute. Okay, then do the other one this side. Remember to have your open bits facing in. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on this. And you want to make sure it's going to stay down, but you don't need bucket loads of it. So, and again, just a little bit away from the bottom, and just line it up with that edge there. Okay, so now what you're going to need is we're going to need some more card. So let's just take a piece of card. It doesn't matter what we use, because it's all Tim Holtz, it's all beautiful. So now what we're going to do is, so if we know that this is less than 6 inches, because we didn't fold it in half, we folded it with a gusset in it. Okay, so we know that that is 5 7/8. Okay, your card that sits inside this fold is going to be a bit shorter than that. So what you want to do is you want to, depending on how it's stuck down, you want to then measure. Right, okay, what you want to measure is, let's just flatten that out for a minute. You want to measure just a little in from this first crease, and you want to measure in a little bit in from this crease. Okay, now you can't really see that crease very well, but it comes to about here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Okay, so we want it to be 5 5/8 wide, and we also want it to be a similar height but not quite as high as this. Now if you want to have tabs on it like this, like mine have, okay, you want to cut it shorter so that they don't stick out above the pocket. Okay, so we'll do the tab thing. So I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4 high. So 3 3/4 by 5 and, I can't remember what I just said, 5 5/8. So I'll just put that out of the way for a minute, so I'm going to go 5 5/8. I think, what should we use? Let's use that. We use that? Yeah, so let's do 5, and that's 5/8, I believe. That, and then we want to cut it at, I want to cut, there's the edge that it's come out of the book from. I just want to cut that bit off, you know, the glue edge. I'm just going to cut that bit off, so let's put in the finished product. And then we want it 3 3/4, I believe I said. 3 3/4. Okay, and I just did 2 pieces, but you can do more if you want to. Okay, so there we go. And bring this back into shot. Okay, so now what we want to do is you're going to decide where you want to have these. So obviously this last tab is going to glue to here. So then you've got you're going to glue them to one of these panels. So we won't glue them in just yet, but you want to decide. Okay, so that's your first panel. Okay, so you might want one on the first panel and one on the last one, or you might want one here. That's up to you. Okay, and if you're going to make some tabs, which I'm going to, I'm just going to take a piece of card. In fact, we'll use this piece, this offcut that we've got here. Okay, so that my tab punch uses it in a folded position, so I'm just going to fold that over. And you have to put the fold in to the bottom, right to the edge, so we're not losing any paper. I'm going to fold it that way this time and do this on that side. Okay, just shut that. Cool. So now what we want to do is we want to put our tabs on. Okay, so tab goes on the top. So we're going to put tab on this one. Let's use this glue, Dave. Bit of glue. Bit of glue. I'll put this on the top of the tab. I'm sorry, on the top of the card. Like so. And I'm going to take the next one and do the same right way up. Oh, no, put it in a different place, Dave. Let's put it there. Let's fold that over. Glue that tab in. Right, okay. When you glue them to this is your main part, okay, and this is the front of your concertina pocket. At the moment, this is in the upside down orientation. You don't want to glue them this way in. You want to glue them so they are upside down, because when you fold it up, they'll be the right way. So we're going to put that one on there. So we're just going to fold in one. Okay, we're going to put a bit of glue on this here. I'm going to put a bit of glue on this here. Okay, and you're going to fold them so that the bit that you want to see at the front, the front is face down. So you want to make sure that this tab doesn't stick out over the top of this line. And that means then it will all fit in nicely. I'll stick that in there. Oh, I'm trying to move it, Dave. Stick that in there. Okay, so that's that one. And then I'm going to fold that one in and that one in. And yeah, and then I'm going to put another one on that tab there. So again, on here, whichever way we want it facing forward. Oh, Dave, you've done that. Stuck the other one in the wrong way up, never mind. I'll just flip that one over. Okay. Get rid of that glue, otherwise it'll stick to this concertina bit, which you might do anyway, but never mind. Okay, so there we go. So that's that. So now they look like they're upside down. When you flip them over, they won't be. Just remember that, okay? So I'm going to put some glue on this edge. I'm going to put some glue on this edge. Okay, and then just flip this over. Keep that kind of closed. One, you might have to get messy fingers. Keep it closed, and then stick that bit in. Okay, so that's it. That's your pocket at the front with your dividers in. Okay, now we want to make the front flap, which is this bit here, this flap here. Okay, so the flap is literally all I did was I took a piece of card, which I did have close to hand, which, you know, when like you do these things, all we need is a piece of rubbish card or paper. Okay, let's use, not that, Dave. Here, we've got some here. Okay. So you want to make sure that this is just going to be a piece, you're just going to use a piece of waste paper for this. Okay. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And if you've got a nice fancy die, you might want to use that. So I'm going to cut it so that it's the same width as the front piece. That's the straight edge at the top, Dave, so let's use that. I can't remember which side is which now, that's the wrong side. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create that fancy shape at the front. Okay, and all I did was took a piece of card that was the right width, yeah, folded it in half across its width, and then from the fold, having the fold in your hand, I just shaped, so I went down and round and back round again to give me a shape for the front of my pocket. Okay, and then I put that onto some card that I did want to use, which we might have a piece here. Shall we use a piece of this? Yes, let's use this. Okay, so you're going to put it on your shape that you want to cut out. In fact, I'll use this side because I'll draw it on this side so you can see. We know it's going to be this wide. You're going to draw around this bit. You want to draw it so that you can definitely see that line. And then you're just going to cut that bit out. And it doesn't have to be bob on accurate, it just has to be aesthetically pleasing for you. So do what you want to do. Don't let anybody else sway your belief in yourself. I know you can do it. That's why. Okay, so around that, and then I'm just going to cut that bit off along that straight line. In a fairly straight line. Okay, so this is going to be my flap that goes over here. Okay, and so this is the front bit. So I didn't do any measuring. This is literally, I know some of you like me not doing measuring, and some of you don't. I literally just took it, made it look like it's in the right place. And so this is where this piece of card ends. So where my pencil is, the tip of my pencil is now. So this front bit ends here. So instead of folding it there, I went a bit further up, about, I don't know, whatever that is, 1/8 of an inch up. I'm going to put a fold in there. Yeah. And then I'm going to go up another 1/8 of an inch and put a fold in there. And then you want to cut it off so you've just got a back tab. I'm just going to go, I don't know, what's that, about 3/4 of an inch. So, different cutter because it just came out in my hand. That's the only reason why I'm using this one. So, now what we want to do is we just want to put those fold lines in. Now you can either use a scoring board or you can just do it by eye or whatever, but I am going to use this. Okay, so find those lines. So you're going to put a fold line there. You're going to put a fold line that's about 2/8 that way. Yeah, and you don't need another fold line. That's not actually my pencil line, I don't think. Oh, it is. I don't know why I put that in there. No idea. So, hello, Worcester. I'm sorry. I'm just in the middle of doing something. I'm sorry, darling. Oh, making noises. You're not a little piggy, are you? You don't need to make noises like that. Go on then, darling. Okay, so I'm going to fold that over. Fold that over. No idea why I put that extra score line in, that extra pencil line. Because I'm going mad, maybe? Oh, that's where I was going to cut it off, isn't it? So, but I didn't. I went a bit further over. Okay, so that's going to be the bit that sits round here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shape this a little, so this back panel, so that it sits inside and covers over the top of the concertina bit. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm literally just going to shape it. So you're going to shape it up to that first crease line, score line. Yep, and shape it like that. Again, from the crease line down, the score line down to there. And that is going to sit inside and cover over the top of your concertina paper bit. And that means then it just makes it a little bit more secure. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put a bit of glue on this bit. Here and here, and then across the back panel completely. Okay, and then we're going to shove that. I mean, insert that into the. You know what I meant. And then you want to just adjust it so that it sits a little way above. So that first score line sits a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch above the top of your pocket, like that. And then you're just going to glue it all down, so it's all nice and glued in. Okay. Then, this is where I put on my Velcro dot. So these, I just get these with they have a clear side and they have a white side. And I always put the clear bit on the bit where I think you're going to see it most. So, but I put the white bit on the top of the tab. So I have it so that the white bit is going to sit just in that curve that we've just made. And then stick them with them so that they're both together. And then fold it over, stick it down, and give it a squash with your finger. And let it kind of get its grip, okay? Get a grip. And then you want to peel them apart so that one side stays one side and the other side stays the other. And that way then you can push them down properly so that you know they've made a good contact, so they don't just rip the paper off. Okay, so that's that bit. Okay, when we open it up now what we want to do is we want to make the pagey panel-y bits. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to use some of the bits that maybe I wouldn't necessarily use. So your pagey panel-y bits, that's these bits here. These measure, you can have yours longer. I went for 6 by 5. Okay, you could go longer, so maybe we'll do this one at 6.5, but we're still going to do it by 5, and that allows us to put that Velcro dot there. 6.5. Did I just say 6.5? Does that fit on there? 6.5. Yes, it does. So 6.5 by 5. Not that. That one won't cut it. So we're going to go for. Right. Let's do. Oh, right. So we want 5 wide. So this is the width of the paper. So we want 5 wide, and we'll use, maybe use that. Okay. Oh, don't get rid of that, Dave. You need that, and then we want to make it 6.5. The only thing with making it 6.5 is you'll have to use more paper, but I'm sure I can spare it. I've got loads of these pads. 6.5, because that one's now. Oh no, that was 6. I've just cut that at 6. Oh well, we're using it at 6 now, because I wasn't even listening to myself. and I expect anybody else to pay attention. I don't know why. Okay, so now we open this up, okay, and we can put in our pages however we want them. Okay, so what I did was I have it so that the tab is always at the back. So tab is always at the back, tab is always at the back all the way through. You can have it at the front, you can do what you like. So I put a bit of glue on that first tab, and then just pop it on. Now you don't want to make it go all the way to the crease, you just want to give it a little bit of a gap. And actually what I'm doing is I'm actually lining it up with the fold on here. Now it doesn't have to, you can butt it all the way up and it won't affect any movement, but I just think aesthetically I liked it like that. So then open that out, put a bit of glue on that tab, next page in, and then all I did was I lined it up with the other one. Put that down, and then I will do the same with this one. So bit on the front, and then stick it on the tab, fold it round so that they line up like that, and that's it. That is your little, you've got your concertina thing here, you've got this, and then the only thing we need to do is we need to put the other Velcro dot on it. So push them together. I have the clear one on here because it's the one that I think you see. So I just glued it to the top of where the pocket bit is, stuck it down like that, folded it over so that they make sure it all lines up nicely, press it down, okay, then initially just tear it apart, peel them apart I mean, and then press those down and then they will just grab, and there we go, that's that. And then the last thing to do is put the band in. So that piece that I cut off when I was making these, I'm going to put in there. So we're just going to again eyeball it, put a line there, get the one that fell on the floor maybe, and then wherever that, well, I've just had a pencil line on there, and I'm blowed if I can actually see where it is. So let's try that again, Dave. Oh, it's there. I can see it now. Why does that happen? Try to chop your hand off, but holding the guillotine like that, Dave. Put that in there. Put that off. Stick that in there. Which way up do we want it? Oh, we might go for that way actually. And then you just put a bit of glue at the top and bottom of that. Put that in like that. So like that, and then you've got a page band, and you can use the other bit of card, and you can make your let's do it that way round, Dave. We'll make a tag. I'm going to cut it down about there, and then we want it to be, let's cut that bit off, cut to about there. Cut that out. Can't see that line now. Oh, there it is. Cut that bit off. Did I just cut the other line off? Did I? I think I did. Oh, I did. What a surprise. What a surprise. Cut my other reference line off. Never mind. I kind of just place it in the right sort of place. That'll be sufficient, I think. Okay. So this is going to be our card that sits in there. Okay, and we're just going to shape it. So I'm just going to make it into another tag. steeper this time. Take that piece and flip it over here. Cut that bit off. Oh, nearly cut my nail off as well. And then I'm going to make a slot punch hole in it. Just going to take a piece of this same green ribbon, I think, shall I? No, that's a bit Christmassy, I think. Although, to be fair, all the stuff I've got is Christmassy. Might use this piece though. Piece of this, I think. Piece of 8. That's from when I made the Pomandas. I do like a fish tail on mine. Put that through there. No, Dave, put it through there. Come on. There we go. And then I'm just going to do the same as I did before. I'm just going to staple it in. I like the rusticy look of it, so that just pops in there. There we go. So we've got little book with your little thing on the front, and all I did was, so I'll show you the one that I made. So all I did was I just put gift notes. It says Christmas on there. So anything, so all the like little Christmas notes that I get. So at Christmas, people put little notes inside their Christmas cards, and I'm going to put these in here. I'm also going to keep any little notes of anything like that was a particular success. I'm also going to put in there things that we didn't eat, so that I don't buy it next year. And that's it. So that's one of the reasons why I made it. But also, it's a nice way to use. Well, it was a nice way to use my nice decoupaged card, and it was designed around the decoupaged card. However, what happened? I didn't press record, so. So I spent an hour and a half talking to myself because I went like full on into decorating and embellishing this one, whereas this one has been a much shorter video because all I'm doing is telling you exactly the same thing as I did before. So, so I've kind of rehearsed. So maybe that's what was good about it. That's the benefit. That's the pro of having not pressed record, is I got to rehearse. So there you go. So that's just something that I hope you think is nice, different, bit different, hopefully. You can put all sorts of different things in here. You can put little journal pockets and cards, and because it's one of those floating spines, it is a bit more forgiving. So you won't get so much alligator gape because you've left sufficient space in here, so you can put several things in there before it starts to alligator gape. And you've got your nice little pocket at the front. So there you go. So sometimes it's worth staying awake all night. Let's fingers crossed I've actually pressed record now. So otherwise it'll be take 3 and I'll have 3 of them. So anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for being around. I realise that time is very precious at this time of year. I too am struggling with time deficit. But thanks for stopping by. Craft is my therapy. Craft is my joy. Craft is the thing that keeps me sane. I mean, jury's out whether I am sane or not, but more sane, put it that way. This side of sanity. All right then. So thanks very much for stopping by. Don't forget, my name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And I'm going to go now. I'm going to go and charge my watch because it's died, and I'm going to go and take the dog out, and then I'm going to go to bed because it's, I don't know, because the watch has stopped. Well, battery's died. It's, I don't know, about 11 o'clock at night. So anyway, thanks very much, folks. Love you all. Take care. Lots of love. Lots of hugs. And I'll see you soon. Take care, folks. See you then. Bye. Oh, it did press record. Hurrah!